This couple survived several years of homelessness, living in a tent in a rock quarry, a cemetery, a tiny home, and finally now in permanent housing.
We made it to where we're not homeless no more. We got into a place.
Nicholas Emanuel became homeless after his mother died. Sarah Lee Bartoni became homeless in 2018.
I had a grandfather that was an artist and he had an art gallery, and a dad that was a mechanic.
This is my house where I grew up. I lived there my whole life.
Actually, I became homeless when my grandpa died, and then I didn't have nowhere to go.
I ran into her, and she was in a rock quarry.
She was living in a rock quarry?
Yeah, she was in a tent, by herself in a tent. I guess it was just love, and it just overwhelmed me with such fight for getting her off the streets and getting myself off the streets, and basically coming into an agreement with each other that we need to do something about this, or else we're going to stay here in this tent forever.
They lived at the rock quarry so long, their campsite is visible on Google Maps.
If you look closely, there is our campsite right there.
Getting a workout today. Our campsite's way over there.
They revisited the quarry to describe their weekly routine, trudging down more than a mile 3 or 4 times a week to carry back 3-gallon jugs of drinking water and food.
Here we are.
To stay clean, they found an outdoor shower they could discreetly use at 3 a.m.
Crazy.
I'm glad we're not here no more. We got kicked out of our campsite by the city at the rock quarry,
Yeah.
which led us to have to go to the cemetery. And we're right behind the Holy Angels Cemetery at one of our first, well, maybe our second campsite where we actually used to stay. And we're here with our friend who used to be our neighbor, Lenny.
A landowner would bring them chopped wood to survive the winter nights.
Yeah, on Christmas, and brought us food. At one point in time, we had a sign. I had an idea to make a big sparkly sign that said accepting donations for the homeless. And we had put it across the street. And sure enough, like maybe not even 20 minutes later, people were just dropping, bringing stuff, blankets. But yeah, there's a lot of nice people in this area. Come on, that's your bro.
A tiny home project changed their lives.
I signed us up. There was an opening coming up for a place called the Tiny Homes. And so she said, oh yeah, I can't get you in there. Nobody has an illness. And I was like, no, wait, Nick has cystic fibrosis. Oh, give me a hug. We then spent a year and a half. I spent house searching and going through many applications and phone calls and Zoom meetings and dealing with all kinds of agencies. And we started doing devoted full-time volunteering for the Greater Services Agency of Alameda County and for BOSS organization at the Fairmont Navigation Center.
But the tiny homes, they did do a lot of correcting us on our everyday life, the way we perceived on carrying ourselves and how we start our mornings and how we start our night. And they basically stayed on us to...
The type of stability.
Yeah, stability, yeah.
Do you think you would have ended up here if you had not had the 90-day tiny homes?
No, we couldn't have done it without them.
Multiple agencies worked together to end their chronic homelessness.
What's up, baby?
Hey,
I love you.
so this is our place. This is where we live.
Oh yeah, duh. We do live here, don't we?
Yeah.
Like we just won the lottery. It was a great feeling.
Yeah.
I almost passed out.
We're like, is this a showroom?
Is this a showroom? This is what
is
they all look like?
yeah.
And they're like, no, this is your unit. I'm like,
Okay.
I was taken over. I was overwhelmed. I was going to pass out. I had to hold on to the wall right here. And I looked at Nick, and Nick's eyes are all like, he was almost crying.
I was like, what?
Their volunteerism continues.
So what's the story?
Oh, well, we used to live in a tent, and then we lived into a shelter, and then into the shelter, into here.
I see them sometimes. I think they're outside. They pick up the trash. They clean up the community here. They're really amazing.
The couple's biggest desire is to raise money for more tiny homes.
There isn't a housing crisis. The crisis is with people that are losing hope. The answer is to contact Firm Foundation Housing and do more tiny home projects.
In Oakland, Mark Jones reporting.